Welcome to Go Goat's Library. Number 4, Charmander. Charmander is a fire-type Pokemon introduced in Generation 1. It has a gender ratio of 87.5% male and 12.5% female. When battled, it yields 1 speed EV. It stands 2 feet or 0.6 meters tall and weighs 18.7 pounds or 8.5 kilograms. It evolves into Charmeleon starting at level 16, which evolves into Charizard at level 36. Along with Bulbasaur and Squirtle, Charmander is one of the 3 first partner Pokemon of Kanto available at the beginning of Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, Fire Red, and Leaf Green. Biology. Charmander is a bipedal, reptilian Pokemon with a primarily orange body and blue eyes. Its underside from the chest down and the soles of its feet are cream-colored. It has 2 small fangs visible in its upper jaw and 2 smaller fangs in its lower jaw. A fire burns at the tip of this Pokemon's slender tail, which has blazed there since Charmander's birth. The flame can indicate Charmander's health and mood, burning brightly when the Pokemon is strong, weakly when it is exhausted, wavering when it is happy, and blazing when it is enraged. It is said that Charmander would die if its flame were to go out. However, if the Pokemon is healthy, the flame will continue to burn even if it gets a little bit wet, and it is said to steam in the rain. Charmander can be found in hot, mountainous areas. It has been recently seen living in the terrarium of Blueberry Academy. However, it is found far more often in the ownership of trainers. As seen in Pokemon Snap and New Pokemon Snap, Charmander exhibits pack behavior, calling others of its species if it finds food, and watching the flames on each other's tails to ensure they don't go out. As shown in Pokemon Sleep, Charmander is known to sleep while curled up. Supposedly it draws warmth from the flame on its tail. During quiet nights, the sound of its flame can be heard by listening carefully while Charmander sleeps. Anime appearances. Ash's Charmander. Charmander physically debuted in Charmander, the Stray Pokemon, where Ash, Misty, and Brock found him after he was abandoned by his trainer, Damien, who only cared about raising strong Pokemon. At first, Charmander refused to leave the spot he was at, believing Damien would return for him. However, when a rainstorm picked up, Charmander grew ill and Ash took him to a Pokemon Center. Charmander eventually realized that Damon had been abusing him and allowed Ash to catch him. He later evolved into Charmeleon in March of the Executor Squad, and then into Charizard in Attack of the Prehistoric Pokemon. Ash's Charmander also appeared in I Choose You, which is set in a different continuity from Pokemon the series. In this continuity, it previously belonged to Cross and evolved into Charmeleon after defeating a Jigglypuff in battle. It later evolved into Charizard while battling Cross's Incineroar. Richie owned a Charmander nicknamed Zippo, which debuted in A Friend Indeed. It would evolve into Charmeleon by its appearance in Apparent Trapped, Team Go Getters. A Charmander starred in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Team Go Getters Out of the Gate, as the leader of Team Go Getters. Elaine's Charmander. A Charmander appeared in a flashback in Mega Evolution Special 1 as the unevolved form of Elaine's Charizard. Trevor's Charmander. Trevor's Charmander first appeared in Summer of Discovery. It would be revealed to have evolved into Charmeleon by a legendary photo op, and then into Charizard by A League of His Own. Leon's Charmander. In Sword and Shield: The Darkest Day, Leon's Charizard was revealed to have been a Charmander in a flashback, and it made more flashback appearances later on in Pokemon the series. In Journey to the Starting Line, Gilbert intended to start his journey as a Pokemon trainer, but the trio of Kanto first partner Pokemon were scared off when Ash's Tauros stampeded through Professor Oak's house. Professor Oak, Tracy, Delia, and Gilbert split up to find the 3 missing Pokemon. The Charmander was the first one to be found. In a 6-pack attack, a Charmander went with Professor Oak on his trip to Hoenn along with Bulbasaur and Squirtle. In the right place and the right mime, another Charmander was seen in Professor Oak's possession along with another Bulbasaur and Squirtle. In the fires of a red-hot reunion, a Charmander was part of Professor Oak's demonstration of the Kanto first partner Pokemon during the Kanto Fair. Another Charmander was owned by the Kanto Fair host. Seeing it inspired Ash to bring his Charizard back onto his team. Charmander made its debut in Pokemon I Choose You, where Ash dreamed about one as his prospective first partner Pokemon. In a flashback in Challenge of the Samurai, a trainer's Charmander was shown battling a defeated Samurai's Pinsir. In Battle Aboard the St. Anne, multiple Charmander were aboard the St. Anne. In Hypno's Nap Time, a Charmander was in Hop 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 Town's Pokemon Center. In Pokemon Fashion Flash, a Charmander was on Scissor Street. In The Ultimate Test, a Charmander appeared as an image in the dubbed version, while another one was owned by the Pokemon League admissions exam instructor. In the Breeding Center Secret, a Charmander was seen evolving on TV for a commercial about Cassidy and Butch's breeding center, while another one appeared in said center. In Pikachu's Vacation, a Charmander was at the Pokemon theme park. In Friends to the End, a trainer's Charmander was at the closing ceremonies of the Indigo Plateau Conference. A Charmander appeared in the Japanese credits of Pikachu's Rescue Adventure. A first partner Charmander appeared in the flashback of Don't Touch That Dial. A Charmander appeared in Gonna Rule the School under the ownership of the Pokemon Trainer School. It was temporarily loaned to one of the school's underage students for use. In The Right Place in the Right Mime, a Charmander was at Professor Oak's laboratory. In Meloetta's Moonlight Serenade, a Charmander was watching Meloetta's concert. In a flashback in I Choose You, a Charmander was chosen by Tierno as his first partner Pokemon. In a crowning moment of truth, a trainer's Charmander attended the Wildfire Festival. In the Lola Kanto, a wild Charmander was sleeping at Professor Oak's laboratory. A trainer's Charmander appeared in The Power of Us. A trainer's Charmander appeared in the Where Are You Going, Eevee segment at the end of the Lilear and Staff. It reappeared during a flashback in the We Know Where You're Going, Eevee. In Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, a Charmander was at Old Shore Wharf. In Legend, Go, Friends, Go! A Charmander was one of the first partner Pokemon Professor Cerise offered to go, but it was rejected. A Charmander appeared in a fantasy alongside the other first partner Pokemon in Getting More Than You Battle For. A trainer's Charmander appeared in Crowning the Child Crusher. A trainer's Charmander appeared in The Sobby Spies A Stealthy Strategy. A Charmander appeared in This Could Be the Start of Something Big. A trainer's Charmander appeared in The Pendant That Starts It All, Part 1. Another appeared under the ownership of a student of Indigo Academy. A trainer's Charmander appeared in Foot Fit for a King Gambit. And the student's Charmander appeared in Infiltrating the System, Navraj Nanar Academy in Danger. Trivia. Charmander, Cyndaquil, and their respective evolutionary lines have exactly the same base stats in the same distribution. Niue released a $1 coin featuring Charmander as part of a commemorative promotion for the Pokemon franchise, with Charmander on one side and the nation's coat of arms on the other. In this Generation 1 sprites and original key artwork, Charmander is depicted with a small line of spikes on its back. These spikes are also seen on Blue's Charmander in the Pokemon Adventures manga, where the spikes are larger and easier to see, and on Green's Charmander in the Pokemon Pocket Monsters manga. Additionally, Charmander is depicted with an inconsistent number of fingers in its designs. The original sprites designed by Asuko Nishida for Pokemon Red and Green feature 3 fingers, while the artwork Ken Sugimori drew based on those sprites had 4 fingers. Currently, the animated series, movies, and specials, as well as all artwork unrelated to games and merchandise, use the 3-finger design. While the key artwork used since Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, as well as the games and the 3D models and artwork based on those, such as the artwork for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, featured the 4-finger design. The number of fingers used for the TCG card art offers varies between illustrators, and even within a single illustrator's work. Compare Boundaries Cross Charmander and Generations Charmander, both illustrated by Koyamaya. Origins. Charmander's design was based on Charizard in such a way that it was surprising to see it evolving to the latter Pokemon. In particular, Charmander was designed as a lizard. Based on its name, Charmander is also based on a salamander, which are amphibians that physically resemble lizards. In folklore and mythology, salamanders are often thought of as fire spirits capable of surviving in extreme heat or flames. As Charizard is based on a European dragon, Charmander's lizard-like design seems to reference how Western dragons in folklore are heavily inspired by lizards and other reptiles. as well as how various types of lizards are likely named after dragons due to this connection. Its bipedal design resembles a baby theropod dinosaur. Charmander is a combination of char, as in to burn, and salamander, as stated in the January 1999 Pokémon Journal on the official Game Freak website. Alternatively, in a 2016 interview with Ishihara by Inside, Charmander is stated to be a combination of charcoal, as in the thing that you use to grill with, and Salamandra, a genus of salamander, including 4 species of fire salamander. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for listening, and be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss the next chapter of Go Go's Library.